Right, trial and error. So here we go. Introduction. You need a capital I, a capital H. Oh, shit. Excuse the French. And a capital M. Run. Hey, yabba dabba fucking do. Oh, excuse the French. Done it. So at least you know that's href equals introduction, but then when you point the arrow or the self-closing tag, it's introduction with a capital I, it's habitat and habitat with a capital H, and media with a capital M. That's how it wouldn't work there. So I done everything else. All the lists, introduction, habitat, media. I just did an anchor tag, href equals media. I just needed a capital letter there, capital letter there, and a capital letter there. And that's what stopped me from getting on to the next bit. So, yabba dabba do, moving on. Sorted. White space. The rest of this lesson will focus on some tools developers use to make code easier to interpret. As the code in HTML file grows, it becomes increasingly difficult to keep track of how elements are related. Programmers use two tools to visualize the relationship between elements, whitespace, and indentation. Both tools take advantage of the fact that the position of the elements in the browser is independent of the amount of whitespace or indentation in the index HTML file. For example, if you want to increase the space between two paragraphs on your web page, you would not be able to accomplish this by adding space between the paragraph elements in the index HTML file. The browser ignores white space in HTML files when it renders a web page, so it can be used as a tool to make code easier to read and follow. What makes the example below difficult to read? Body, paragraph is all squashed together. You have to read the entire line to know what elements are present. Compare the example above this. So body, space out the body with a closing tag, and then we've got two paragraphs. This example is easier to read because each element is on its own line, while the first element requires you to read the entire line of the code to identify elements. This example makes it easier to identify the body tag in two paragraphs. A browser renders both examples the same way, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. In the exercise, you will learn how to use the indentation to help visualize nested elements. Use white space to make the code more readable by putting each element on its own line. So HTML, body, H1, paragraph, closing body, and an HTML, closing tag. White space and indentation make HTML documents easier to read. Indentation. The second tool web developers use to make the structure of the code easier to read is indentation. The spaces are inserted using the space and the tab bars on your keyboard. The World Wide Web Consortium of W3C is responsible for maintaining the style standard on HTML. At the time of writing, the W3C recommends two spaces of indentation when writing HTML code. Although your code will work without exactly two spaces, this standard is followed by the majority of professional web developers. Indentation is used to easily visualize which elements are nested within other elements. So body, paragraph, div, two spaces for the paragraph, and a closing div and a closing body. An example above, paragraph 1 and the div tag are nested inside the body tag. So they're indented two spaces. The paragraph 2 element is nested inside the div tag, so it's indented in additional two spaces. Indent the code in index HTML to match the W3C standards. One, two. Dismissed. 1, 2. 1, 2. Did you properly indent each letter?